Ron Duguay played 860 NHL games with the Rangers, Red Wings, Penguins, and Kings, and he joins us today nowhere near the Sunshine State. He's up in Alaska, they tell me. Dukes, welcome back to the RP Show, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Yes, I'm in Alaska, and behind me there is, well, on this side here is where the sun is getting ready to come over the mountains. But yeah, beautiful here and out of Florida. In fact, I was getting ready to fly back, and then I'm seeing what's happening with all the storms. So I'm probably going to stay put for a little bit.
Yeah, just stay where you are. They get NHL on TV up there, Ron. Are you excited about, it's like Christmas, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, I know. That's one thing. You can always tune into hockey, whether you buy the program or not. Even on your phone, I can find it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it starts tomorrow night, and then the Rangers start Wednesday night. And so it's, I think there's a level of excitement right now with certain teams. With me, of course, it's the Rangers. And then I'm looking around the league, and I think we're all fans of, as Canadians, we're all fans of the Leafs. We're hoping this year could be the Leafs' turn to kind of go a little bit deeper. But then I'm looking at Boston and how Boston's changed their team around defensively, and they're going to be tough. And so people ask me, what do you think of the Rangers and what it was like compared to last year? And I'm thinking, well, the safest thing to say is they're probably going to be in the top six again. But after that, we're not sure because of the balance in the league. And of course, the Panthers are still going to be the Panthers and the Vegas team and Edmonton. And but I'd love to see the Leafs go all the way this year.
Speak for yourself on being a Canadian that's a Leaf fan. Just so you know, I've never been a Leaf fan. You Ontario kids are all the same. We don't care about the Leafs, just you guys from Ontario. But beyond all that.
Well, I grew up.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Sudbury, so I grew up a Leaf fan, so I'm still deep down. I'd love to. Plus, it'd be good for the NHL for the Leafs to win the Cup again.
What makes you say that?
Well, here's the difference. Coaching, because I appreciate your coach Matt that was just on. I really liked his interview. Very thoughtful guy, very successful, spoken really well. He's the type of guy that I would probably enjoy playing for. So Matt, if you're still watching, I appreciate you. So anyways, when you look at the Leafs coaching with Berube, I really think that he's going to make a big difference because when you play for him, you got to compete. I mean, compete every night. It's not just looking like you're playing hard, but you got to play with an edge. And we've seen that in St. Louis when he was coaching there. So I think he's going to be the difference maker in Toronto.
Just to stay on point, Sarah's rubbing off on you being a politician. Don't be a politician. I said, Ron, why would it be good for the NHL, for the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just never looked at it that way. Why do you feel that way?
Well, let me. Generally speaking, it'd be good for Canada. Okay, whether it's Edmonton, love to see Edmonton. Other than Edmonton, well, possibly Winnipeg, but no, it'd be Edmonton or Toronto. But it'd just be good for Canada because it's our sport and there's such passion, and Canadians have not felt or tasted the Stanley Cup. So I think for that reason, it's not just Toronto. Need to clarify, be good for Canada.
I'm with. I think any Canadian team. You're right. It's funny. You brought up Berube there in Toronto. You got Laviolette with the Rangers, and there's a story came out today about the volatility of the coaching fraternity in the NHL. I think it's 12 coaches, or the 12 teams have a coach in place that wasn't last year. I'm just going to read you a quote here from Peter DeBoer in Dallas. Ron, you'll like this. He goes, "It's insanity. It's like going on a date and getting married and divorced before the appetizers show up. I don't get it, but that's the world we live in. The short shelf life or lifespan of a coach with a team." What do you think about that? Like, if you don't win, you're out. Doesn't take long.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a trickle-down effect. If the team is not successful, it's not winning, not often you're going to see a president fired or a general manager. It always trickles down to the coach, right? And then the coach will kind of blame it on some players. I need new players. So, but that's what happens. If the coach is not successful today, And often they'll get a sense of what's going on in the dressing room because they'll hear whispers of players happy or not happy, like your star players. And if your star players are not happy with the head coach, that's what happens. It'll get back to the manager, but it's a trickle down effect. It's usually the coach that goes first, then the manager, and potentially the president.
Well, the Rangers made it to the Final Four, and I actually had them picked to beat the Panthers last year. And believe me, there's Panthers people not letting me live that down. But whatever. At least they won. A Final Four last year, that's kind of hard to repeat. I mean, for their sake, I hope they do. Do you see them going that far?
Well, hockey is a funny thing because a lot of it has to do with injuries, right? If you go into the playoffs really healthy on a little bit of a streak and you're healthy, you're in the top six. Any team in the top six that's healthy is going in with some momentum and the proper coaching, of course. They have a chance to make it to the Final Four, and I think that's what we saw with the Rangers last year. I think they're well coached. They're healthy, very determined team. And the thing about the Rangers that I've seen, it's similar to what I saw in '79 when we went to the finals, is that they're a band of brothers. Like, they really enjoy each other. They play for each other. They respect their coach. They play for the coach. They like him. And when they come together as a team, they're tough to beat. They have a little bit of everything. They can score goals. They can play defense. And, of course, they got Shesterkin in net. So they had the right combination. And you have to have some good bounces along the way. And I think it was kind of a lot of things went their way for the Rangers. And I can see it happening again, although it's a tough thing. It's a grind. These games, it'll go to game 6, game 7. And often it depends on your goaltending. So I can see it happen again. But when I look out east, I think Boston's going to be tough. And I think Toronto's going to be tough.
I could talk hockey with you all day. We've established that. But I'm more interested to know how you and Sarah Palin got together without prying. But when you were making your predictions last year in the playoffs about what's going to happen in the game, and you were right, I was like, this is mind-boggling, Dukes. Sarah DM'd me. She's like, he does that all the time. And I'm like, well, he knows the game. So I don't think maybe you do have ESP or a sixth sense, but I know that doesn't surprise me. But I thought that was funny to get a DM from Sarah Palin. How did this happen?
Oh, I didn't know she did that. In fact, she's giggling. She's sitting next to me right now. She's giggling like she went behind my back.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that she appreciates you. She's listened to the interviews and she appreciates you. She likes your questions. She thinks she has a good show. And she wanted to ask me, what is your audience, by the way? Is it mainly Canadians? Do you have Americans that are listening to you right now?
It's 90% Canadian. And we're on national television in Canada. But we're on the air in 31 U.S. states. So our American audience is growing all the time. But we're in year 6, and we're on the radio in Atlanta. We're a bit of a yard sale as far as sports talk shows go. But they love the hockey talk, and that's how we found you. And I grew up a huge fan of Ron Duguay. So when you first came on, it was a thrill, and it continues to be a thrill. But I don't follow politics that much. I know enough to stay out of it because it pisses people off. You know that? You don't seem to mind, Ron.
No, I kind of don't look at it because her and I talk about, it's more talking about life in general, life issues. Mm-hmm. And yes, it ends up in politics, but it's just life issues and decisions that people make at the highest level. And that's, when you think about, like, Sarah was a politician, you talk about a politician that was in it for the right reasons, to want to change and change for the people and for the good. She's all about that. So I enjoy, that's where we get along really well. Plus she loves talking hockey. Her son grew up playing hockey in Alaska here. So we have a lot of things in common. You had asked, how we met. We met like 3 years ago in December. So we've known each other, and we can chat about anything all the time. And so anyways, she would love to be speaking with you right now, but she's a little shy.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. Former governor of Alaska. Well, I would say kudos to her for building that hockey arena there. I've done my research. But I'm a Saskatchewan farm kid, grew up with my firearm license, the whole thing. I think that's why we all get along in this conversation, Ron. But I'm going to let you go. Thanks. Enjoy your time up there. And let's make this happen this winter, getting together here in the Sunshine State.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, have you been to Alaska?
No. I'm not a fan of the cold. That's why I'm here. as you
Okay. All right. All right. Well, good talking with you. Good talking with you as always. And maybe sometime I'll do it in studio with you because you're just south of me.
That's right. We just built this Florida studio here. We're ready to roll. But I'm always looking to get out of Florida this summer. So we'll hook something up, Ron. Listen, enjoy your time
Okay.
and travel safe when you do come back.
All right. Later. Bye-bye.
The great Ron Duguay and the shy Sarah Palin just off camera joining us from Alaska.